Halo, it's Jang here with a look at the Mega Construx Halo, a New Dawn figure series. These are the ones that come in the blind bag individually wrapped packs where you can't see what's inside, but they do have codes on the outside that you can look up on the internet. I'm going to go through each of these individually up close and then explain to you why I'm getting sick and tired of collecting these things. First up, the School Bus Yellow Recon has a tactical shotgun in a medium gray color. This is a very bright looking thing. It's a little bit lacking in apparent detail to the naked eye from a reasonable distance. You know, you get up close and you can see all the individual lines and everything, the mold marks, or the molded in details, I should say, that have always been there on this armor set. But from any reasonable distance, you just don't see that. It looks like a mass, a few masses of under-detailed bright school bus yellow. This one desperately needs a wash. The plastic itself is pretty good. You know, it's not too translucent, doesn't let too much light through, but it's just too clean to me personally. Here's a Brute Miner. Oh yeah, this is a common figure. The Spartan Recon was also a common figure in this series. You get the spiker there with the gunmetal gray, and there's some really fine metallic flake in the kind of wine color, plum color, or whatever you call that secondary color there. Looks pretty nice from a reasonable distance. It just looks metallic. I don't really see the flake that much unless I get up this close. It's an interesting color scheme on this one. The teal on the legs is painted on, and you see there's a little bit of a smudge on this one. That's easy just to take off, but yeah, you know, I personally don't like these colors, but I do think the figure is produced pretty well. Here's another common figure. This is just a regular Spartan in Mark 6 armor in a hot pink, or should I say a hot pale red, hot light red, is it? This can be a later model of Donut, I could say. Has the original style of battle rifle, original in-game, not original mega mold. Classic battle rifle, we'll put it that way. That looks pretty good. Yeah, this is a good looking figure. I mean, you know, it's pretty straightforward, but you know, it doesn't have any wash or anything, but what production is done well. The color is bright, but it's not too pale. You know, it's really properly a magenta. Yeah, a hot pink, not an actual pink, not an actual pale or light red color. So it's done well, I think, for what it is. Here's another common Mark 6 Spartan. So yep, two with the same mold sets in this one series. This one just has the silver colored magnum there, and the blue color has a little bit of metallic flake in it. Now you do see the metallic flake really, really clearly on camera here, but again, to the naked eye, it's not as apparent until you get really, really close. It just looks ever so slightly metallic. I really like this one. I really like how light hits it and how highlights and shadows form around it. And the blue is not a true blue. It's slightly cyan. You know, there's just a little bit of green in it, which is cool. I like that. I mean, I don't mind true blues. True blues can be very beautiful colors, but I personally like a little bit of cyan in there, and this has it. There's just a certain amount of translucency that allows you to see a little bit more of the depth in the color. It's good. I mean, it's straightforward. It's just a Mark 6 Spartan, but for what it is, it's good. The final common figure from this series is this Marine who looks like he's got a thick neck. It's a combination of the shape of the helmet and also the shape of the body armor. You know, so he just looks super buff. Almost has like that Ram Man kind of appearance. The finish for the main color for the armor here is very similar to what we just saw on that last blue Spartan. There's metallic flake in it that you can see up close, but from any reasonable distance you don't really see that, but you do see the changing shades. Has that very metallic look to it, which is pretty cool. A little bit of marbling in the dark beige colors that they used in there as well. The The face looks especially good from this side. You know, the production work is good with the flesh tone that went into it. From this side, it's not masked off quite right. I'm not sure if they got the visor shape just right, but I don't know. I like the figure. I like it overall. I would like to get more of these and some different skin tone variants. Just got the most recent version of assault rifle, most recent version from Mega, with the ability to add scopes onto it. Yeah, I like this, and I'm very glad that this was made as a common figure as well. Makes it a little bit easier to get them and to mask them if you want. This classic Grunt Miner is a rare figure in this series, interestingly. And he's got the needler there. And, you know, just the orange color, which is a desaturated orange for his armor carapace piece. It's interesting. It's almost like a what does that look like? Like a peach frozen yogurt, I want to say. Frozen glaja, frozen yogurt. Yeah, it's not a bright orange, you know. It's not a traditional orange. It's interesting. It's different. It's definitely a secondary color. I like that, you know. Makes it, I don't know, makes it a little bit more special. And then for the silver, they use I think that's the brightest. It's either the brightest or second brightest of silver paints that they ever apply. So this one's pretty cool. And if you don't like getting a lot of grunts, well, it's going to be a little bit harder to get these, so good for you. But if you do want these, again, it is a rare in this series. And then here's the other rare, this clear active camo Spartan, Rogue style. Comes with the carbine, pronounce it however you want. Either is a perfectly fine pronunciation. Look it up if you have a problem with that. I don't care which way you go with it. It's a pretty good looking, pretty well produced figure. You can still see, as always, the slight differences in hue between the softer pieces and the harder pieces. The softest ones are a little bit more translucent, just ever so slightly milky or cloudy, and also slightly yellow compared to the hard plastic. But still, for the most part, it's difficult to see that. It depends on your own light quality, whether that'll stand out for you or not. But I think that clear is the best active camo color because it looks closest to something that you would expect. And I think creates something that's not just a collectible, you know, chase item, but actually stands well in dioramas if you want to show, you know, a Spartan who actually has active camo active. Then this is, you know, a good thing to get. Unlike in the past, though, the active camo Spartan in this series is not the main chase item. Instead, this is a buildable, original, proper, true Forward Unto Dawn. Now, Mega does not officially name this Forward Unto Dawn, but I mean the series is called New Dawn, and I mean it's the same type of craft certainly as the original Forward Unto Dawn was before 343 had to go and throw all that history out the window to retcon it to create a actual playable main first mission for Halo 4, because this ship here from Halo 3 would have been too small for that level. Still, everybody who's a true Halo fan or calls themselves a true Halo fan will look at something like this and say, oh yeah, that's what the Forward Unto Dawn looked like, not what we saw in Halo 4. Understandable, completely understandable. This is a nice little build, and it looks good on display. Only problem with it is that it is, like I said, the chase figure. And that brings me to my little rant. I got this entire series from Target, with the exception of this one here, this one item, from Target right after they had put out a fresh case. Was it one? Yeah, a fresh case. And another store had another fresh case that had just been opened. All the figures were there, all the bags were there, except for this. Scalpers had come along through my region and already taken all the Forward Unto Dawns out. which is beyond annoying. It's aggravating, it's irritating, it's very, very angering, very, very, very angering. And it of course leads to my own viewers and fans of these things saying, hey, where are the reviews? Why haven't you gotten up a review of this? It came out, months ago. Yeah, I got most of these when they first came out in my area. My area is, never the first to get them. But, I came out within a reasonable amount of time for a change. But can't review a series if I can't get the series. If I can only get all of the items except for one. I am so tired of this. This is not the first time this has happened. I'm so flippin' tired of going through this dance of having to wait and having to ultimately cave and buy from scalpers in order to bring you reviews of entire series. A lot of people would say, well, don't support the scalpers. Let them go out of business by not supporting them. But, I'm kind of in a bind here. I am expected by viewers, by fans, to bring the content, and I've got to do something. Right at this point, I'm thinking the best way for this to be solved, for this major issue to be solved, is for Mega to just stop playing around with this whole rarity thing and just make all of them have the same rarity. It's difficult enough as it is to find these figures, to find Mega stuff in stores at all, since Toys R Us, especially in the US, but it's a problem worldwide. But to find Mega stuff is difficult. To find Mega Halo stuff is difficult within that. So, the level of difficulty is there. Demand is there. Supply is low already. So flatten out the probabilities for these blind bag series. Let's just let people who are lucky enough to be able to buy these, buy them as they want, and take the scalper incentive and reduce it significantly. There will still be scalpers who will go and buy entire cases as soon as they hit shelves and stuff. But it's much more frequent, from what I've seen, that people buy the most expensive or most valuable and most desired, rarest items, which totally makes sense if you want to make a profit. You can get things at a fixed price, get the most rare of them, and then mark them up. That's generally what happens, and I would like to see that practice stopped at the source. And the source is Mega. They have the power to do this. Let's just end part of the pain for Mega Halo fans now, please. Overall, a fine series, not one of the stronger ones to date. 2 Mark 6s, that Rogue needs a wash for sure. Grunt, sure. Brute Miner, sure. Marine, always good. Active Camo Rogue Spartan in clear, very nice. Forward Unto Dawn, or whatever you want to call it. The not Forward Unto Dawn, wonderful for, just a small little build. Very, very nice. Great little showcase of Mega's special little pieces that can be used in very cool ways. Difficulty of finding Mega stuff at all these days? Rough. Scalpers making it 10 times worse? No further comment. Catch you later.